The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is pedal, type of pedal. Basically, the only requirement for this is you need a pedal that has a decent spring. Okay? So if you put the beater on the head and then you let the beater just come back and remove your foot, that's around what your pedal should be doing. This pedal I'm using is over 10 years old. It's never had the spring changed. It's cranked up as tight as it can go, but that's because the spring is extremely stretched. And there's nothing special about it. It's just a Tama Iron Cobra pedal. It's all beat up. It's been thrown in and out of my hardware case for a year. I've taken it across the US on tour. I've taken it all the way into Europe on tour. It has been everywhere. I had to grease it and oil it before I even brought it in here for you guys so it wouldn't be squeaking the whole time. So it's not the best pedal. It's a little bit loose here, it's a little bit shaky, and I purposely wanted to do this because I hear so many stories of oh, I don't have a power pedal. I have a Mapex or a Yamaha pedal and I can't play the technique on that because it just doesn't work. The spring's not tight enough, or the footboard's not big enough, my foot's too big, on and on and on. And it's just not about that. All right? So just set your pedal so when you put the beater on the head, it comes back around that. Most new pedals, it's around a medium tension. And some guys will actually do a little bit less, some will do a little bit more, but if you set it somewhere in the middle, you'll be totally fine. The next thing I want to talk about is beater distance away from the head. Okay? You can see how far it is here. Obviously this will be a drum head when you do it. And today I've set it back really far, just because I wanted to show you guys that it really doesn't matter or make a huge difference how far it is or how close it is. Generally, whatever setup your pedal comes out of the box will work. If your pedal is like this close, I don't think that would work. But if your pedal is back here, generally that should work. You might have to tighten your spring a little bit more. But I always say in between 4 to 7 inches, depending on how far away you like it, that's totally up to you. And a lot of guys do a lot of singles as well, and so they don't want to go too far back, but they don't want to go too far forward because then they can't do the doubles. So it's all about finding a happy medium. But it's not really a deciding factor on whether or not you can play the technique. All right? You can play the technique if you want to set it back farther, just guess and check. Just try a bunch of things and figure out how it feels best for you. And I guarantee you, if you have a pedal like this or any sort of name brand pedal out of the box, or even some of the really, really crappy drum sets that come with these really crappy pedals, those still work totally fine. It's not a big deal.